you.
Hi, good day. For
Yeah,
for a moment, for a moment, I thought I was in the wrong room because by looking at the time, I'm like, oh, okay, how's everything?
yeah, it was good. Thank you so much, Esther, for joining this session. So, so my name is Melinda. I'm the host for the 2 days event. So, the Global Summit 2023. So, before you start your presentation, I'll give you a brief introduction of Esther. Esther Murray is an accomplished and compassionate coach with 24 plus years of government experience. She helps professional women unlock their potential and life fulfilling lives. With two master's degrees and a certificate of leadership, Esther is equipped to provide expert coaching. Her down to earth personality, listening skills, and commitment to her clients' transformation have earned her a reputation as a true friend. Esther lives in New York City and enjoys nature walks and following Tony Robbins, UPW Virtual Challengers, Bravo Housewives, and the British Royal Family. Her leadership, coaching, and mentorship skills continue to inspire others. So that's really a great presentation, a great introduction. So yes, Esther, you can occupy the stage. Welcome, Esther, on the stage.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That means a lot. And I want to thank everyone for being here as well. Thank you so much for your support. I'm so humbled and grateful that I have this opportunity. This presentation is basically something that is very dear to me because being in government for more than 24 plus years, 25 plus actually this time, I've seen a lot of different, misjust or injustice that has happened and still is going. And so this led me to bring this to the forefront. It's not talked about a lot, and I hope that this will enlighten some of us that are here. Maybe something that we need to talk a bit more after this because I'm going fit in these agencies. So I begin. Have you have you ever heard the phrase that leaders are born and not made? Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not entirely true because while some individuals may have some inborn leadership qualities, anyone can develop the skills and confidence needed to become a great leader. And that's precisely why we're here today to explore how to unleash your leadership potential and build confidence and expertise in even the most challenging careers. In a world of constant change and innovation, becoming the best that you can be is not only essential, but enormously satisfying. And today I want to talk about how you can become the strongest leader that you can possibly be and how it will help you build unshakable confidence when the world is falling all around you. When you master your inner skills, you can conquer any situation that suddenly presents itself to you. Together, we will unlock the keys to thriving in the most difficult circumstances. In this fast paced and dynamic era, with artificial intelligence emerging as the dominant theme of our times, the mere possession of knowledge and expertise is not enough to survive. It is the ability to rise above the ordinary and to inspire others with unwavering confidence. That's what makes a great leader. And we'll talk about self discovery, unlocking the secrets to achieving authentic leadership. We'll also explore concrete steps useful for navigating in the ins and outs of our respective careers. As we embark on this journey, let us remember that true leadership is not confined to a title or a position. It is a mindset. It's a way of thinking that has the power to influence and affect the lives of those around us. This presentation is going to focus on four critical aspects of leadership. Number one, The first and most interesting to me, it's dear to my heart, of these the elements and least predictable, which is vulnerability. The second point is storytelling. It's a fantastic instrument for sharing your truth. It allows you to connect with your colleagues and show your humanity. The third element is mindfulness. We seek to build resilience and strength by meditation or mindfulness when the daggers are coming at you relentlessly. And lastly, conversing with courage. That is not being afraid to speak your truth and be heard. It is also important to recognize that everyone has something to say and contribute. You just need to get the guts to say it. And I want to stress above all, how leadership means standing your ground. So let's start off with talking about vulnerability. Up until recent times, women had been conditioned not to be strong, not to be in control, not to project confidence, and to squash their zeal for leadership. Let's not forget that women want to make change happen as much as men do. So, to reach that goal, being vulnerable, exposing ourselves to the possibility of being hurt or criticized, it is crucial for personal and professional growth. You might want to think about vulnerability as the opposite of someone exerting total control over a team. As American author and researcher Brent Brown stated, when we are able to embrace vulnerability, we experience fundamental shifts in our understanding of life and the people we interact with. So, why is encouraging vulnerability important in the workplace? As women, we are faced with a host of unique challenges, such as we're navigating the wage gap, we're breaking the gas ceiling, and achieving work-life balance. Vulnerability of a leader or showing vulnerability allows the leader to stand on a level playing field with all of her colleagues. It also breaks down barriers and creates a sense of connection, trust, and comfort. This, in turn, will result in a supportive and an environment where all of us as workers are happy. Okay, let's take an example of Sheryl Sandberg. She is the CEO, maybe was, of Facebook. In her poignant book, Lean In, Sandberg shares her personal struggles with self-doubt and finding her voice in the world of business. By openly discussing her vulnerabilities, Sandberg not only encourages other women to embrace their own inner dialogue, but also highlights the importance of sharing personal stories to break down barriers between individuals. In other words, everyone's personal experiences contribute to the final product of the group. You, as a leader, become the shepherd of the group's shared experiences. In her powerful TED Talk, Brent Brown discusses the idea that embracing vulnerability is what truly connects us to others. She says, vulnerability is not weakness, it's our greatest measure of courage. Brown's research demonstrates the undeniable link between vulnerability and the birth of innovation, creativity, and change. Again, vulnerability is not weakness, it's our greatest measure of courage. This is very, very important. Let that sink in for a minute. In the workplace, this all translates into better leadership, effective teamwork, and quicker problem solving. It is the foundation of trust among peers. Once that foundation is established, you have succeeded as a leader. Moreover, Embracing vulnerability means accepting and appreciating feedback, be it positive or negative. Former United States Secretary of State Madeleine Albright once said, I've learned that for the most part, people respect what you've had the courage to say. I urge all of us, especially women, to recognize the importance of embracing vulnerability in the workplace. Remember that vulnerability is not a sign of defeat, but rather an opportunity for growth, understanding, and connecting with others. Therefore, let us come together to create a workplace where all individuals respect the feeling and vulnerabilities of others, as well as acknowledging their strengths. Lastly, I want to point out the wise words of author Elizabeth Lesser, who said, we all have an ego, a fearful, unloving part that grips us in the darkness. And we all have a soul, a wise, loving part that knows we are here on earth to remember who we really are, strong and loving, united and evolving. Now, this is so important to me that I really want to reiterate that there are some pros and cons to vulnerability that we cannot overlook. And I run these through real quickly. I'm going to start off with the pros. So, as you see, authenticity, being authentic, it allows us as leaders to gain trust and respect among your peers. You thus create more genuine connections and enable better collaboration. After Sheryl Sandberg lost her husband, she publicly shared her challenges and emotions and gained respect and admiration from her associates. When you embrace vulnerability, women can also exhibit emotional intelligence, which is crucial in building workplace relationships. And I'm talking about healthy workplace relationships. A study by Johnson & Johnson found that emotional intelligence promotes better decision making, teamwork, and communication among leaders. When you openly discuss vulnerabilities, it'll also lead to a more empathetic and supportive work environment. The esteemed Brent Brown has shown that being vulnerable lets individuals better understand the struggles of others so they may offer support accordingly. Women leaders who are comfortable with vulnerability will inspire other employees to be more open about their own experiences, leading to a more open work culture. And reducing the stigma around vulnerability must also be encouraged and always emphasized. And that is my purpose here today. Well, unfortunately, when you embrace vulnerability, you're setting yourself up to be stereotyped as a woman who is emotionally weak and incapable of leadership. And this is one of the stereotypes that has undermined the hopes and dreams of millions of women of our generation. But Madeleine Albright and Sheryl Sandberg, they show us that great women leaders can be authentic, they can be vulnerable, and they can lead effectively. We should all follow their example. Many times, vulnerability may be misinterpreted as a lack of confidence or competence. Outsiders may from a distance say that I do not know what I'm doing, but in fact, I'm always a leader because I'm always willing to learn and grow. But despite all these negatives, the positive benefits far outweigh the cons when we take a constructive approach to vulnerability. Now, my second point is all about storytelling. And I'll share a little story with you. Once upon a time, there was a village where women were not allowed to work outside their homes. They were only expected to take care of their families and their homes. But one day, a young woman named Leah, she came to the village, right? She was an engineer. She had gone through years of schooling to be able to work in the corporate world. Leah wanted to help women in the village who had dreams and ambitions but were held back by societal norms. So she started talking to the women of the village and told them about her experiences working in challenging workplaces. She shared with them how she faced difficult situations, overcame obstacles, and fought back against discrimination. Slowly but surely, the women of the village started taking inspiration from their stories. They realized that they too could make a difference and achieve their dreams if they persevered and believed in themselves. They started speaking up and demanding their rights, breaking down barriers and pushing boundaries to unleash their potential. The story of Leah and the women of the village became famous. People from all over the world heard about them and were amazed by their strength and determination. Today, women work alongside men in the village and there is gender equality in every aspect of life. And it's all thanks to Leah and their stories that inspired the women to discover their potential and create a better future for themselves and their families. Now, as you can see, storytelling has been a part of the human experience since olden days when men drew pictures on cave walls in Lascaux, France. Stories, they entertain us and they teach us about life. So today, in this fast-paced digital era, we never want to underestimate the power and value of storytelling in our lives. Yes, and there is a good reason why the movie industry is a multi-billion business, right? Inspiration speaker Simon Sinek famously said, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. In other words, stories inspire people to act. Stories motivate people to succeed. You as a leader must make storytelling a vital component of leadership. Very few people know why they do what they do, according to Simon Sinek. Stories help us make sense of the world. So the question stands, how can we harness the power of storytelling to create more productive and inspired workplaces? Well, let's take the example of Pixar, a pillar of the Walt Disney empire. There is no doubt that storytelling is one of the most important components of Pixar's creative success, and it is often used as a tool to inspire and motivate their employees. Pixar regular team meetings are called Brain Trust, and where their teams meet to discuss the progress of projects and share their ideas. It is at these meetings employees are urged to share their ideas with their colleagues by telling a story or narrative, presenting their work as a compelling story rather than as a technical report. And it has been proven to be very effective. So by developing these storytelling skills, employees become better communicators, able to connect and engage on a deeper level with each other. The result is strong working relationships that breed success for the team. So, in conclusion, storytelling is not just a nostalgic pastime or vehicle for entertainment. It is an invaluable tool that will transform our workplaces in ways we can only begin to imagine. Here's my prediction. In about 100 years from now, the greatest companies in the world will be those that harness and utilize all the stories and experience of their employees. Listen, folks, I don't know if we're going to be living on Earth or if we're going to be in some colony on Mars, but regardless, all individuals count. So when we encourage storytelling, we forge stronger connections, we drive innovation, and we redefine the ways in which we solve problems. Now, my third point is something that is very popular in the public domain. It's mindfulness. Right through this morning, we've been hearing lots of stuff about mindfulness. So, one way to integrate mindfulness in the workplace is through meditation, and another, mindfulness exercises. You see, these activities are intended to help employees be aware of their thoughts, emotions, and body sensations, thus leading to a sense or state of relaxation. For example, during a 5-minute break, you can just sit where you are and practice a simple breathing exercise by bringing attention to each inhalation and exhalation, letting go of any distractions or lingering thoughts. Another way is to foster mindfulness in the workplace by creating a culture of compassion and empathy. According to a study conducted in the BMC Public Health Journal in 2018, compassion-driven interventions show significant positive impacts on well-being and life satisfaction. For example, let's say a coworker is she's suffering from serious ailment, maybe, or even an accident, right? Her colleagues can join and support her to boost her morale. So, also incorporating moments of gratitude is another way to express mindfulness. When we show thanks to colleagues for things achieved at the end of the workday, we're being mindful. As a famous philosopher, Roman philosopher Cicero once said, gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. And by the way, this older age Far Eastern way of thinking, which is mindfulness, really it has proven extraordinary effective and worldwide. And it is definitely something that obviously works. And this is why it is strongly recommended. In the end, mindfulness promotes a sense of non judgmental, self compassionate attitude towards our thoughts and emotions. It lets us step outside of the turmoil you may be facing in any given moment. You, as a leader, should always encourage mindfulness among your fellow workers as a way of alleviating stress and making the workplace a serene, creative, and happy place. Psychologist Dr. Kristin Neff says, with self compassion, we give ourselves the same kindness and care we give to our good friend. Through self compassion, we become our own source of strength. And lastly, I want to mention conversing with courage, which means going beyond the mere effective communication, right? It means going down to a deeper level of communication that is based upon bravery, it is based upon candor, and it's based upon open dialogue. So you see, in our everyday workplace, you as a leader will have to go through this gut feeling about the events of the day, the things that are whirling all around you. You see, that is when you need to take the bull by the horn and just speak your truth. Always listen to those internal revelations that will be your guiding light. It means getting out what you have to say without trepidation. Brand Brown once said, clear is kind, unclear is unkind. And this quote perfectly summarizes the importance of having open dialogue, right? Honest dialogue, being just courageous and have these conversations in the workplace. Sometimes it may just mean that, hey, speak your message loud and clear and in simple words. Yes, the truth hurts, but sometimes it must be spoken. So, what does it mean to converse with courage? It means one, speaking up. It is the ability to rise and have your voice heard, even when it's challenging and uncomfortable. Take the example of Sheryl Sandberg, who openly emphasized the need for women to participate in critical conversations in the workplace, breaking the biases and resulting in a more inclusive working environment. Active listening. Courageous conversations are not a one-way street, right? It, it comprises of actively listening to others, empathizing, and understanding the nuances before responding, admitting when you're wrong. Now, Dr. Travis Bradbury, he's an author of Emotional Intelligence 2.0. He reminds us that successful people are able to objectively recognize when they're wrong and pivot accordingly. This knowledge allows us to admit our mistakes and take responsibility, further enriching and strengthening our conversations. And in conclusion, let us remember the great words of American journalist Edward R. Murrow, who said, "Difficulty is the excuse history never accepts." But we must learn to overcome our fears, right? He's saying that you must do the darndest thing to overcome all challenges if you want to succeed in life, right? And that helps create or foster a culture of openness and respect. So I just want to reiterate as I close, our workplaces must become a space that encourages innovation, collaboration, and personal growth. To achieve this, all leaders, you must construct an environment where vulnerability, storytelling, mindfulness, and courage are firmly embedded. If you can take one thing from today, let it be this: you can be that person who transformed the workplace and make it a dynamic, creative, and exciting place to be. It's up to you to take advantage of these tools and ideas to get the most out of your people. You can be the one who makes the workplace a thriving place to be and to grow. You will be the person who makes the organization a smashing success. You should have the confidence in yourself, as I have in you. So I wish each and every one of you the best of luck in your leadership journey. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak about unleashing your leadership potential. Thank you.
So much for your insightful presentation today. Your your delivery was very confident and engaging, keeping the audience captivated throughout the presentations. So, we do have a question from our audience. So, here is the question. So do you think technology be leveraged to empower women and bridge gender gaps in access to resources, opportunities, and information?
I'm sorry, I can
I'm
barely
sorry.
hear you.
Do you think technology can be leveraged to empower women and bridge gender gaps in access to resources, opportunities, and information?
Well, it all depends, right? I basically think that the human factor plays a vital role in everything that we do. And the reason why I say that is because I was hired under government to train employees, and sometimes when you think of someone who has been grandmothered or grandfathered in agency for decades, they're not too welcoming of technology. They're like, they're filtering out. So it's kind of like pulling nail to get them to really get onto a computer and, you know, take a mindset class or something. So sometimes you just have to have that collaboration, like a verbal conversation with the individual, so that they feel more connected, as opposed to sitting looking at like a computer, or being taught something that is something like it's low, they're like dinosaur years, and they don't want to do it. And it's very hard sometimes to bring those people to here, to our future, what we are doing here. And I see there are lots of biases and nuances with that as well. So for me, if I'm gonna take a step forward with that, I would say it does have its pros and cons, but you may have to work on that in an individual case.
Thank you. Well answered. Really a very terrific presentation today by Esther Moray. So thank you so much for joining this session, Esther. And another speaker, Jacqueline, is waiting for to join. So let's join our other speaker, Jacqueline D. Young. So please join and show some love. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you all. Bye. See you all next. Thank you.
Yes.